agenda every month. And I just wanted to start out with welcoming everybody and wondered if there are any new groups or any new teams that have joined that would like to introduce themselves. Okay, so with that, we'll get started with updates from the pilot sites. And just a reminder, this call is focused on pilots of conditions that have been recently added to nationwide screening recommended by the advisory committee, or conditions that are being piloted in states and are not yet part of the RUSP. So we have a pretty broad agenda. And thanks, I just got a note from Emily from the Rhode Island Department of Health. So welcome, Emily, we're glad to have you this month. With that, is there anybody from New York that wants to give us an update on your efforts? Okay, I will move on to Georgia. Is there anybody on the line from Georgia?
Hey, yeah, this is Angela. I don't know if Bill is here or not.
I'm here.
Are you, Bill? Do you want to give the update, Bill, or do you want
No, be my guest.
Okay. So for SMA, things are going well. Nothing exciting to report, which is kind of good news. I always like it when it's not exciting. As of the end of January, we have screened 147,000 specimens. So that's 147,068 specimens. And I probably told you all last month how many positives or how many confirmed cases we have. I think it's 9, as I recall. Let me pull it up. I'm sorry, 1 second. But nothing new since then. I do have one kiddo who's got testing underway who I'm suspicious. Yeah, 9 confirmed cases so far. I have one that's I think will confirm, but the testing is pending right now. So, but I think he's doing okay clinically at the moment. And that's kind of it. You know, I don't know if other folks are seeing the same thing we are. We certainly run into, I don't know how many numbers. We will be running this report probably later, closer to when we're finishing up the report for the pilot project. But we're certainly seeing inconclusives with combined with SCID. So we're definitely seeing where they're both failing because it's a multiplexed assay. So, but those are generally pretty clear to pick up, and we just ask them to repeat the screen and they're always normal. So that's been good. So generally we're pretty happy with that assay. I can talk about PUCD unless there are questions about SMA.
Do you know, Angela, can you remind us what technology you guys are using? I guess it's the MLPA multiplex.
That sounds right.
So any ideas about why when you repeat them they're okay versus?
Oh, we get a brand new specimen. Sorry.
Gotcha.
So and we call them inconclusive, not when they're both abnormal, but when something's abnormal and then the internal control, the RNase-P, is also abnormal. So, and it seems like we had a fair number in the summer. So I don't think it's certainly not universally just heat, but it certainly seems to be some sort of probably environmental impact on the cards is my guess.
Gotcha.
And we'll be sure to look at that when we're looking at all the data, like when are the numbers the highest? Because we certainly have the summer effect down here.
Any questions for Angela? Okay, yeah, we would love an update on the proximal urea cycle.
Okay, so that one, in case anybody didn't hear, we started on October 31st. We are running all of our specimens through the Clear tool that, and we created a custom tool to work with the analytes that we have because we don't get things like glutamine. which should be changing in about a month. In about a month, we're going to get those analytes and probably use the standard tool that's on the CLEAR tool rather than our own custom tool. But as of now, or as of the end of January, we've screened almost 38,000 kids. So 37,958 samples have come through. So we've screened approximately that number, just so you know, that's how many have come through. And I can tally up the final numbers later, but there are always samples that come through that are missing analytes and don't actually work in the CLEAR tool for whatever reason, but it's usually just a handful. We have, I wrote it down. We have had 45 positive samples so far, or positive results, and no one has confirmed. It does look like it's a reasonably even split between boys and girls, and no clear cut reasons why we get false positives on that. We're hoping that it will improve when we start getting the other analytes like glutamine and whatnot, but we're just kind of plugging along right now. So it's a challenge in its current form, and we're hoping that it'll improve.
Will you tell us a little bit about your follow-up algorithm? So for the positive, then what do you guys?
Absolutely. So anybody who has a positive screen, we are asking them to get plasma amino acids, urine orotic acid, and ammonia, so that we can have an immediate assessment of whether or not, you know, this is a panic situation or not. And then if anybody is sure, and we have had, I think, Bill, was it one kid or two that we did end up referring into clinic, but I think we cleared that one kid that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, maybe a couple. Yeah. Is it?
But nothing that we've diagnosed as anything yet.
So they actually got seen in the clinic?
Sorry, in genetics clinic. Yeah, in the metabolic clinic at genetics.
Yeah, I saw one of them had a borderline orotic acid and a little bit, you know, borderline glutamine as well, and it was a girl. So we went ahead and did genetic testing and didn't find anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any questions for the Georgia team? Will you remind us, I know Dr. Wilcox, you've talked about it before, but which conditions are part of that pilot?
Well, it's for NAGS, CPS1, and OTC.
Okay.
So it uses, the primary marker is citrulline, but you know, we're using, which isn't a good screening tool by itself. That was proven a long time ago. So we're trying to use CLEAR tools to combine it with other analytes to make it useful. And you know, glutamine may be the most, glutamate may be the most important. We'll see.
Okay.
I'd say so far it's not looking good. If it doesn't get better than this, it's not something we'd want to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Maybe when you guys get a little farther along in your pilot, it'd be great to hear a little bit more from Dr. Hall or from your team about how the CLEAR tool is working.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you. North Carolina?
As far as our additional recruitment, we're still sending out patient portal messages through UNC Duke, and we're adding Wake Forest this year. We still have a conservative effort to partner with state agencies. So we have WIC programs mentioning early check and giving flyers and a business card with the portal link out. Also, we have not only through the WIC programs, but also we've been connecting with care coordinators or care managers within the Medicaid state programs at local health departments, and they're actually beginning to connect with us and request materials, posters, flyers, things like that. So we're hoping that some of these efforts can help increase our recruitment rate here in North Carolina. And we're also continuing to connect with individual OB clinics, pediatric clinics, and the larger health systems. Recently, Novant Health, one of the major systems here in North Carolina, approved through their corporate structure that nurses would actually be handing flyers at the time of the metabolic screen. So we're really hopeful that that kind of model can make a larger impact in our recruitment rate here in the state.
Wow, that's a huge accomplishment. I know,
Yeah.
you know, for pilots, it's that enrollment in the birthing centers that's so expensive. So that's so great that you guys got that practice adopted.
Yeah, we'll see. We're still obviously evaluating all the different methods that we're implementing here in the state, but we're hopeful that we can find one that really works, and that then we can help implement that in other health systems as well.
I think we missed you if you gave a count in the beginning of how many you've screened so far.
It was 6,414 consents, and individual screens is 6,376 for SMA.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Blake and then RTI team? Okay, thank you. So last time we had a little bit of discussions for Dr. Gelb on the CLEAR tool. We were talking about the second tier testing for Pompeii. And I know we still have yet to get a date for Dr. Ronaldo to talk about that with the Pompeii results, but we'll work on that. We heard from Florida, and then I have a quick note from the Minnesota team who didn't think that they could join today. So from Holly in the newborn screening tandem mass laboratory, she wanted to make sure that everybody knew there's a bad lot of ethyl acetate from JT Baker that's used in the LLE processing of LSDs that's affecting multiple labs, including their own. The reagent issue causes a drop in intensity, and they have the bad lots that Minnesota is dealing with listed there. And they say that if any other labs have these reagents on hand, they should be wary of using them. So I don't know if Holly was able to join or anybody from the Minnesota team, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to Holly, or you can send us a note and we'll make sure that Holly gets it. Is anybody else having the same issue?
You can mute yourself.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello,
sorry.
this is Ohio. We started having the problem with our intensities back in mid-December, but there were a variety of different issues. And we have since, I believe it was probably working with us that we were working through PerkinElmer that they figured out that the ethyl acetate was probably a major candidate for the problem. But with the way the intensity drops kind of slowly came on, it's hard to feel that that's the only issue.
Does anybody have any questions for Ohio, or seeing the same thing, or anything you want to talk about related to that? Okay, well, I'll go back to a blank page and see if there are any updates from any states that aren't part of the formal IDIQ pilots that wanted to give us an update on any of their new conditions that they're implementing or pilots within their states. And I think *6, right, Danielle, to unmute or follow the icon next to your name.
Yes, that is correct.
Hi, this is Kate from Delaware calling, and I just wanted to pass on some good news. As of January 1st, Delaware, with the PerkinElmer laboratory, is screening for SMA, XALD, Pompeii, and MPS 1. And with our birth rate of 10,000, so far we haven't had any positives.
Congratulations, that's awesome. What technology are you using?
We use the PerkinElmer contract lab, so it would be the same technology that Pennsylvania is using and
Great.
Nebraska.
Yep, thank you. Any questions for Delaware? Okay, thanks for that report. Any other states want to give us an update today? Okay, I'll jump ahead to APHL New Steps and see if there's anybody on that team that wants to verbally read through your update.
Hi, before you go on, this is George Dizikis from Tennessee. I don't think Chris Dorley's on the call, but I know the lab started screening for SMA first of this month, so they just began.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Anybody from New Steps? So as you all know, New Steps is having their big meeting in Des Moines, Iowa in October. The abstracts are due February 28th. They have an active RFP that's currently out called Newborn Screening Systems Quality Improvement Project Second Cohort. So you can go to that link and check out the sort of the guidelines for submitting an application for that RFP. They're hosting a meeting in DC where we hope to see many of you April 15th and 16th that focuses on conditions that have been recently added to nationwide screening, SMA and XALD. Just a reminder that I see Kesha's on. Would you like to take over, Kesha? Just *6 to unmute yourself or else.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, hi. The only other update is that, as you can see on the last bullet, we do provide support for on-site technical assistance. So if you guys are interested in visiting another lab, we do work with the Missouri and the Wisconsin lab. However, we could support travel to any lab within the U.S. So if you're interested in on-site technical assistance, please contact me at the email address listed, and we can get you started with that.
Great, thank you. Any questions for the New Steps team? Okay, just a quick update from NBSTRN. We're working on a new website, and we'll be calling on several of you to test out some features on the new website. We do have an interim website that's still live where you can register to use the tools. And on the right just shows the latest picture of the Duchenne muscular dystrophy pilot. So that's a pilot that we're helping to coordinate that's based in New York State. 2 primary hospitals are directing recruitment at Columbia and Northwell Presbyterian. And we started in October, and so far we have 6,000 newborns have been screened, and there's 1 case that has been referred. So we're, usually for Duchenne, the incidence is 1 in 5,000. So 1 referred is sort of right on target for that. The methodology that we're using is the PerkinElmer kit. That's a CK-MM isoform followed by sequencing, looking for the deletions in the Duchenne gene, the dystrophin gene, followed by a neuromuscular panel of 46 conditions. So we're hoping to get some good information about how to build a algorithm for Duchenne screening. We're also having work groups that are discussing things like carrier detection and X-linked disorders. So if anybody on the call is interested in participating in those work groups or to follow along with this, what's going on with the pilot, just feel free to reach out to us and we'd be happy to include you. Any questions for NBSTRN? Okay, so just a reminder, this call is held the first Thursday of each month. Please contact us at any time with any thoughts or questions or advice. We know sometimes it's hard for everybody to join, but we think that this is a valuable time to bring up issues while you're piloting new conditions or planning implementation. So if you come up with an idea between now and the next call, just feel free to reach out to us and send us a note. And we hope to see everybody either at the ACMG annual meeting in March or at the APHL New Disorders meeting in April.